Hello, everybody. Welcome to another one of our speaker interviews. My name is Brian Richards, and I'm joined with Tessa Kriesel. Tessa, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am also doing well. Um, Tessa is going to be speaking during WordSesh on July 25th at the 5 o'clock Eastern hour, and she's going to be talking about lots of cool development tools and ways to sort of help improve how you actually build the projects that you're building. So Tessa, could you tell us just a little bit, like some teasers on what people might expect from your presentation?
Yeah, of course. I think my presentation is anytime I do any presenting, I like to get pretty personal with it. I like it to be something I'm passionate about, something I care about, and then I'm all jacked up and energetic. If you've ever met me before, you know that I'm like a very like high energy, optimistic person. And so I'm really looking forward to just talking through like a lot of my life cycle of being a developer, starting out with like FTP and not even know that version control is a thing, and just walking through some of the processes that you as a developer yourself freelancing or even as a larger agency can start to learn and evolve over time, and just looking forward to like sharing a lot of content just depending on what stage you're in. If you're still using FTP, like how you can get started with version control. If you're beyond that and you're doing a lot of other more advanced workflows, like how can we dig into testing, how can you automate some of your things. So just really kind of like from A all the way to Z of like the workflow. So looking forward to all of that.
Yeah, I like that. So if you are looking to update your workflow, Tessa's presentation is going to be one that you definitely want to watch during WordSesh. My next question for you, Tessa, is how do you currently use WordPress in your day-to-day? Or do you even? Because I know that you do lots of things, right? You do some training, you do uh, lots of evangelizing. Does WordPress actually show up in your normal day-to-day responsibilities?
Unfortunately, it really doesn't. So I get to do a lot of stuff around WordPress, but not a lot of stuff in WordPress. Coincidentally, today I'm actually building out this pretty complex conditional form for our team to do some reporting on some of the awesome things we do. So I am actually using WordPress today, which is pretty great and a nice feeling. But in
Yeah.
terms of full-time job, I don't actually touch WordPress a lot. But I do get to do a lot of awesome things about making sure that WordPress is secure and performant and just a lot of things that kind of help WordPress all around the space, just not necessarily actually using it.
Yeah, working in the peripheries, making sure
Yeah,
that all the other supporting members are where they need to be so WordPress can shine.
exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that may make this next question even more illuminating. What would you like to be doing with WordPress, or where would you like to see WordPress go next in the future, right? Like what sort of features are you longing for or implementations? Is there anything specifically that you'd like to see other people doing with WordPress, maybe?
Let's see. I mean, I'm excited for Gutenberg. I think that's kind of a given. I think everyone's pretty
Mhm.
excited, maybe nervous, but the excitement is
Right.
still there. I would say that I think the thing that sticks out to me when someone asks me that question or when you ask that question is if anyone has worked with like Drupal 8, Drupal 8 has configuration management in core. What that means is like any of your configuration is basically in a code file. So I've given a few talks on this, and if you look on WordPress TV, you'll find a couple about WordPress configuration management. But the idea would be that things that you configure in WordPress, like plugin settings or actual like WordPress core settings or anything along kind of that configuration side, would be inside of like a YAML or a JSON file to be able to export that out. If you're using version control, bring that over to your different environments, bring that in, and not have to like migrate an entire database. So Drupal 8 is doing that really well. And I'm hoping that one day that's something that WordPress can take on as well.
Yeah, that would be really awesome. I
Yeah,
have
agreed.
I don't need that right now, being solo and just running my own one site, but that is something that I longed for when I was leading a team or multiple teams of like, okay, so you just jumped into this project. Here are all the configs that you need to just get it up and running locally. I mean, in that case, they are getting a full database import, but then to start a new project that's similar to, but not exactly the same as, it'd be really nice to have those config files to just get up and running quickly to say, um, right, bring all of these plugins in, set all of their settings. I like that. And
Yeah.
people have tried to solve that in the past. I know that Daniel Backhuber's got WP Dictator, which kind of gets there, the CLI tool where you can I think it actually is a YAML file where you specify a few settings and you can dictate, here WordPress, use these, or
I
roll
like
back
that.
to these. Yeah, but it
There's
doesn't.
W Yeah, so there's
Go ahead.
WPCFM, which is what I've presented in my talks as a plugin built by Forum One, but it's not necessarily being maintained today, and so I think there's kind of some angst about using it
Yeah,
because it hasn't been maintained and updated in a couple years. I mean, the idea of what it does is pretty great, but yeah, I also would really like to see, and I think this is a problem in every CMS, but like some type of version control for database changes. So when
yeah,
you are working in a bunch of different environments, if you want to bring them all together, if you're on a larger team or what have you, that you can be able to be like, yep, I actually want this change. I don't want this change. And I know there's some people in the space trying to do it, but I don't think it's not overly easy to do. It turns out. So
nice.
yeah,
Awesome. Well, that was a really good answer. That was very thought-provoking.
yeah.
Before I let you go, obviously people can come and see you on WordSesh on July 25th, or in the recording afterwards. Where can they find you elsewhere on the internet?
I feel like I'm pretty much all over the internet, pretty easy to find. But if you wanted to check out my website, it's tessakriesel.com, which is Kriesel. Otherwise on Twitter and pretty much every other social media avenue as TessaK22. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming and joining me today for this interview. And all of you who are watching, thanks for taking some time to catch up. Hopefully, we see you live on July 25th at WordSesh. Or if you can't make it then, hopefully you are able to make it over and watch the recordings or some of the other interviews. Tessa, thank you for taking your time and have a great rest of your day.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
All right. Bye, everybody.